Welcome back. I hope your day is going pretty well. I'm here on this great Saturday morning. Well, I guess it's afternoon, I guess you can call it. And I can't complain. I'm just ready for the New Year's to start. And I got off to a great, first day of the New Year's and looking forward to all the rest, coming along. But that is the topic of today's video. What do you want your New Year's to be? What do you want this 2026 to shape out to be like for you? God opens new doors for us every single month, every single day. We always have an opportunity to step outside our comfort zone and say yes to something that we never did before. So this is just a continuation from my previous video. So if you had had a chance, I suggest you to go watch that. I think it's a great way to enter the 2026 year, and this is just the building blocks to perplex you for this year coming up. So new doors and stepping out in faith. Again, that's the topic. So God is the one who opens new doors. Revelations 3:8. See, I have set before you an open door and no one can shut it. So it's so funny. I actually just read Revelations. I finished it this past week. I ran through the Bible from front to back in 2025 again. This was my second time doing it. I did it the first time in probably like a couple of years ago in college. But I'll just say, that takes consistency. I think the first challenge for you and even me would be to open a Bible today or even just sometime this month and read it from front to back. That is really the journey of starting your growth, or just being able to really understand where you want to end up halfway through the year or even at the final mark of the year. So as God said right here, He is the one to open the door and no one can shut it. In Revelations, it pretty much talks about the end times and how, Jesus will come back down and rescue his people and save his people and, also have a punishment for those who didn't follow him. And so it's the hierarching thing that is pretty much saying is whatever is God's way, whatever is Jesus' way, it's going to happen no matter what. And so in Revelations, God says, I have opened a door and no one can shut it. Not one person that you meet, not one person that you consult with or talk with, or, a friend, a parent, or a spouse, or whoever can hold you back from reaching something. And I know a lot of times it seems impossible to do the certain thing that you're going after because you're low on funds, or you're struggling mentally, or it's just a blockage that, you can't get over, that's holding you back from your dream or just your goals. And so I just, I'm here as the first step to tell you that, that might be the case, actually. That truly might be the case, because there's plenty of scriptures in the Bible that shows you that it's a lot of people that can cause a hindrance in your journey. Like if you think back to Moses and, them getting out of Egypt and, the story, the rest. But that's not the door that God is closing on you. That's just the process. That's just the first step of you reaching that the door that God is calling you to be in. So just know that there's not one person that's going to stop you. The only person that can stop you is Him. Sometimes that hindrance or that blockage might lead you to, that door or that certain path that you really need to go down. And it can also make you, go to a different path that you think may not be for you, but really is best for you. So this leads me to the next thing. New doors often require leaving what's familiar. And by faith, Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out, not knowing where he was going. And that's Hebrews 11:8. I think it's so funny how the Bible is laid out. It starts with Abraham just leaving his I guess what he's familiar with, his family, the place where he grew up at, and God tasked him to go elsewhere. And during those times, he was very uncertain, and it's a lot of uncertainty in general that comes along your walk. And where you second guess yourself, where you second guess, what God is doing for you, where you second guess if God is even speaking to you. And I'm here to say that, I've been going through that as well too. So it's not just a you thing or It's not just a certain people thing. That happens to everyone in this world, even the biggest celebrities or whoever you could think about that's huge to you in your mind, in my mind. So just if you take a chance to read throughout that passage of Abraham, he has a son eventually at an old age. He meets a spouse. He goes throughout various lands, and he eventually has to kill his son, but he doesn't kill him because God stopped him. But if Abraham never left, if Abraham never listened to God, if he never believed in what God was telling him, think about how much he would have missed out on. And yes, it is good and bad to it, but that's life. I think one of the biggest things that we need to start understanding is that life is life, and it's going to be good things and there's going to be bad things, no matter which way you go and no matter which way you look at it. And there's going to be days where it seems harder than others, where you don't think that you can make it out on the other end because it's just, this day is just too much at once. But there's also going to be days where you're going to be, again, I don't want to say on a high, but you're going to be just floating and feel like, okay, well, if I can do this, I can do anything. And so I'm sure Abraham felt like that. And we need to really embody what Abraham, put to the table. He didn't just put himself there by accident. He sacrificed being with his family, being not a part of his, the land he grew up in, and so on and so on. He sacrificed for his family, his soon-to-be family, and just even what God told him, that he'll give him pretty much his name or his family tree will be scattered throughout the world. So anytime that God tells you to do something, best believe it, and make sacrifices to get it too, if need be. Just believe in him. So this leads me to my next part. Faith doesn't wait for full clarity, only God's direction. For we walk by faith and not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. Now this one is a big one. We want to feel so reassured. If you look at the world in general, it's all about reassurance. From relationships to social media, from sports and broadcasting, and even the corporate world. It's all about reassurance. And I'm not going to say loyalty, because loyalty is something different than reassurance, but it's always about feeling wanted and accepted. If you think about sports, you never know what could happen in sports. And God always opened new doors in every area of life. In sports, in football, when they do a kickoff, they have however many people lined up on the side and the kicker in the middle to kick off the ball to the opposing team. The opposing team puts two men back there to catch the ball. Once they catch the ball, pretty much it's all out war. They have defenders for them, the punt returner, they have defenders on their side, but there's also defenders on the kick returner side. Not kick returner, but kicker side. And so it's pretty much like a war. It's a 50-50 chance of what might happen. But if you know football, most of the times, what happens? The kick returner usually gets stopped at the 40 or a 30. Not 40 really, too much, but 40 or 20. And so it's kind of funny because we're almost like them. It's just like sometimes we don't go for it. Sometimes we just see the ball and just let it drop. Sometimes we do go all the way out and just knowing that we have people there for us, we still run. And sometimes we don't. But when those moments of a big breakthrough happens, where you split throughout the defense, you split throughout the war of the ongoing battle in front of you, and you make your way to go past the kicker and go get that touchdown. But that one person that's still there is the kicker who initially kicked the ball to you. And sometimes it's just like, well, everyone's looking at you all at once. There's so much happening. You got people behind you, the kicker in front of you, the home run right here in front of you as well, and 1,000 people watching you. but it's always going to be chaos. It's always going to be loud and um, just something happening in the given moment. But two things that can happen. You can stop yourself from going to get that touchdown, or you can let the devil, which is the kicker, make sure that you don't enter to what God is calling you to. So it's just in life, everything is not about reassurance. Everything is always about being tasked a certain thing or doing a certain thing, but there's always never 100% backing to it. So a relationship is shaky as ever. You're never going to be 100% committed all the time. There will be times where you will have to argue and you will disagree. So it's just like, but to get back together, what do you have to do? You have to reassure one another that, either we might disagree or we might be on the same page, but we will continue to run through this challenge together to get past what is holding us back. So there will always be reassurance no matter which way you look at it. Marketing, when you look at iPhones or whatever in your life, it's all about reassurance. We have a new phone coming out next year that has this capability. We have a new camera. We have this and that. It's reassuring you that you will, reap the benefit of buying this phone. So just think about that this year, just reassurance, and realize that faith is not always about reassurance. Sometimes you just have to, not walk by sight. You just have to believe it inside your heart and believe that you can do it. Believe that, even when it seems like it's nothing to you or there's nothing going on, there's nothing happening around you, believe that, no matter the odds, that you can get out of it. And so God often calls us to move before we feel ready. And the Lord directs the steps of the godly, because fear is normal, but obedience is greater. And obedience is not always normal. I mean, we live in a time where, we are always disobedient in some way, shape, or form, because we believe that our ways are greater than others. And, God gives us people who guides us sometime to the right area. It gives us great sound advice, and we go to different direction. Now, I'm not saying that's always going to happen, because some advice is good advice, but some advice is also horrible. And sometimes God just gives you an ability that you just need to go out there and get it. So sometimes it's also the opposite. Maybe not always go to people and listen to them and take their opinion or their sound advice. Sometimes just go to God himself, and he will help you, and he will send someone to direct you in the right path or right direction that you need to go down. New paths often require trust more than confidence, and obedience opens doors. Faith alone cannot open those doors for you. Obedience is better than suffering. It says that in the Bible. When you can obey what God is telling you, your faith will only be increased when you get in those moments of, when you get in those moments of where God puts you. So the more you can think back in reference to what you did in your past, good or bad, this can help you understand where you sit at with God today. Yes, he forgives, but you want to make a clean slate for 2026. So, repent, and say your thank yous, and say how you appreciate him in some way, but not just as far as monetarily, or just in any, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? As far as like a phone or whatever, product or whatever, just thank him for just being him. Thank him for just being there, helping you out in a way that led you to where you are today. And guess what? Even if you are in a bad position right now, you got the baby mama drama. You got the baby mama drama, which is not funny. Sorry, guys. So which is the baby mama drama. Hey, look, you about to get repoed somewhere or whatever. It's just like, sometimes those moments, you have to really think about what's happening here. Why am I in this position? Is it because of me? Is it because of someone else? Or What are you doing? Because most of the times, bad actions, I'm not going to say most of the times, but a lot of times, bad actions definitely come from us and our own doing of not understanding a situation and not being obedient. You know, it's not right to go buy them daggone 220 pair of Jordans when you have to use that daggone 220 to put inside your daggone rent or your mortgage or whatever. So just make the right actions. That is the goal for this year. Make the right actions. Be obedient. And when you feel like nothing is happening in front of you, when you feel just not enough faith inside your body or around you, just be obedient and follow His word and keep on reading the Bible. So my challenge to you and whoever is listening, as also myself, is to go from front to back reading the Bible this year in 2026. Who'd ever thought that you made it to 2026? 10, 20 years ago, we thought that would be the future where there was flying cars, which I think there is, but I'm not going to talk about the government. But yeah, so keep going. You have a lot of time left, a lot of time, and guess what? If you don't have a lot of time, make the most of it. Make the most of it in His presence, and just be a good civilian out here. Be a good person out here. It's very hard to be a good person every day when there's always something tempting us to do the exact opposite. So walk away from what comforts you and just understand that you are here today in this world, living, breathing, and enjoying life, because there is no tomorrow that's promised. There is no next month that's promised. Although we make plans for that, just understand that you could be gone in an instant, and you never know what might be on the other side. So that is why you put your faith in Jesus and you put your faith in God, because I know heaven and hell is real, but not everybody knows that. So yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you for your time. Subscribe. You know how Price is Right. Ding, 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 ding. You know the song. But yeah, subscribe, and I'll be posting more often, and I hope you have a great day. And I'll talk to you soon. Linux.